Your baby is sitting right in front of you and you cover your face with both hands. Then you pull your hands away and say, "Peekaboo!" They burst out laughing. You could do this 40 times in a row and they would laugh every single time like it just happened for the first. Every parent has played this game, but almost no parent has ever stopped to ask why it works. Why would a baby laugh at the same thing over and over with the same level of joy? The answer has nothing to do with the game being funny. Because to your baby, Peekaboo is not a game at all. It is one of the most important things their brains do in the first year of life. And the reason they laugh is far more serious than it looks. Have you ever played peekaboo with your baby and noticed that at some point they started laughing before you even revealed your face? If yes, write yes in the comments. If you haven't noticed it yet, write not yet. Watch for it next time. It will change how you see the whole thing. Here's what's really going on. When you cover your face, your baby doesn't think you're hiding. They think you're gone. Their brain at that age hasn't figured out yet that things still exist when they can't see them. So when your hands go up, as far as their mind is concerned, you just disappeared from the world. Now, sit with that for a second. The person they depend on more than anyone just vanished, and their brain has no way of knowing if that person is coming back. No file in their head says, "She's right behind her hands." That understanding hasn't been built yet. And then you pull your hands away, and there you are. At that moment, that exact half second of reappearing floods their brain with relief. Real, full-body, nervous system level relief. The laugh you hear is not humor. It's a release. Their entire system was bracing for loss, and instead it got the opposite. But here's what makes this so much bigger than a cute moment on the living room floor. Each time you do this, every single round of peekaboo, their brain is recording the result. Face gone, face back. Slowly, over dozens and dozens of rounds, their brain starts to build a rule. That rule is the foundation of one of the most important things a human being ever learns. The idea that when things disappear, they can come back. That absence is not the same as gone forever. Scientists call this object permanence. But your baby doesn't care about the name. What they care about is the feeling. And the feeling they're getting from peekaboo, round after round, is that the world is a place where things return, where people return, where are you return. And if you watch closely, you can see the moment it clicks. At first, when you cover your face, your baby's body tenses. Their eyes go wide, their hands freeze in midair. That's the gap. That's the moment where their brain is sitting in pure uncertainty, waiting for what comes next. But after enough rounds, that tension starts to fade. Their eyes stay soft instead of startled. Their body is telling you, before any words exist, that the brain has started to learn the answer to its own question. And now here's the part that makes this even more interesting. Your baby's brain, especially in the first 18 months, stores memories in a way that's completely different from how you and I remember things. They don't have clear pictures they can pull up and look at. They don't have little files they can open. Instead, they store feelings, impressions, body responses, a sound that feels warm, a smell that means comfort. These are memories that live underneath the surface. The brain is collecting them constantly, even when the baby has no idea it's happening. And this is exactly what Peekaboo is feeding. Every time you cover and reveal, you're adding one more entry into a growing record inside their brain. That record says, when she disappeared, she came back. When I couldn't see her, she was still there. And the more entries that record has, the stronger the belief becomes. This is why your baby laughs harder by the 10th round than by the first. Their brain is starting to expect the outcome. It's starting to predict it. And when the prediction comes true, the brain rewards itself. That reward shows up as joy. The laugh is proof that a new connection just got made inside their head. Now think about what this means long term, because the record your baby is building during Peekaboo doesn't just stay in the living room. It travels. It becomes the memory for how they handle every moment of uncertainty for years to come. When your toddler watches you walk out the front door and doesn't scream, that's Peekaboo. When your 5-year-old sits in a classroom on the first day of school and waits for you to come back instead of falling apart, that's Peekaboo. When your child trusts that a hard moment is going to pass, that's the same brain doing the same job, using the same record. The one you helped build on the floor, face to face, hands over your eyes. But there's a flip side to all of this. And if you're a parent, this is the part you'll want to hear. Because what happens if those early rounds of peekaboo, or the real-life version of it, don't go well? If a baby's experience is that things disappear and don't come back in a way that feels safe, the rule their brain writes is different. Instead of things return, the brain starts to expect that they won't. And that expectation becomes the lens through which they see everything. Their brain recorded it that way before they were old enough to question it, before they had the words to push back against it. This is why some kids seem anxious in situations that should feel safe. Why can't some children let go of your hand even when they're surrounded by friends? It's not a flaw in who they are. It's a record that got written early, in a brain that was doing exactly what it was built to do, learning from what happened before and getting ready for what comes next. And if this is making you think about your own child in a new way, stay until the end because the last part of this video might completely change how you play with your baby from now on. Now, here's where Peekaboo gets even smarter than most people realize, because at some point if you keep playing, you'll notice a shift. Your baby will start laughing before you pull your hands away. Before the punchline, they'll be giggling while your face is still covered. That's not a random reaction. That's their brain finishing the sentence before you say it. They've played this game enough times that their brains have already predicted the ending. The neural connections have been made. The record is strong. And the brain is now so confident in what's coming that it releases the joy early. When scientists talk about how memory works, they describe it as an association machine. Your brain takes what's happening right now and links it to what happened before. A smell brings back a feeling. A sound brings back a place. The end of ballet class makes your kid expect bubblegum because it happened together once. Peekaboo is building those same associations, but with much higher stakes. It's linking disappearance with return, fear with relief, uncertainty with trust. And those links become the wiring that shapes how your child feels about being apart from you, about being in new places, about facing the unknown. And here's what's beautiful about the whole thing. You don't need a degree for any of this. You don't need special tools. You don't need to understand every detail of how the brain stores information. You just need to keep playing. Every round of Peekaboo is a deposit. And what they add up to is a brain that believes, at its core, that the world is a place where good things come back, where people who leave will return, where being scared for a second doesn't mean being scared forever. But I want to be clear about this. Peekaboo alone isn't doing all the heavy lifting. It's the first version of a much bigger process. Because as your baby grows into a toddler, and then into a child, the same principle keeps working. The brain keeps building its understanding of the world through experience after experience. And the most effective way to help that process along is also the simplest one, telling them what happened. When a toddler goes through a scary moment, a noise that startled them, or a fall that shook them up, sitting down afterward and putting that experience into simple words helps their brain file it properly. You were playing, then the loud noise scared you. You cried, and I picked you up, and now you're okay. That little story does more than comfort. It takes feelings that were floating around loose inside their head and gives them a shape, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And once those feelings have a shape, they're not scary anymore. That's the same thing Peekaboo teaches, just in a different form. In Peekaboo, the story is simple. She was here, she was gone, she came back. In real life, the stories get more complex, but the brain is doing the same job, taking what happened, putting it in order, and making sense of it so it can let go and move forward. And that job depends on a small part of the brain that acts like a search engine. Its whole purpose is to take scattered feelings and loose impressions and piece them together into a clear picture, like finishing a puzzle. When that part of the brain does its work, your child isn't haunted by feelings they can't explain. Instead, they have a story they understand. The story has a beginning and an end that makes sense to them. Peekaboo is one of the earliest workouts that part of the brain ever gets. You are literally training your baby's ability to take confusing experiences and turn them into things that make sense. So the next time you're sitting on the floor and your baby is looking at you, and you put your hands over your face for the 100th time today, know this: you're not just getting a laugh. You are wiring their brain to believe that the world is trustworthy. And if that sounds like a lot of weight for a little game, maybe that's the point. Maybe the things that look the smallest on the outside are doing the most work on the inside. Your baby already knows this. That's why they never get tired of it. That's why they ask for it again and again and again. If this changed how you see Peekaboo, hit subscribe. We talk about the things your baby is trying to tell you that no one else explains. And if you know a parent who plays this game every day without knowing what it really does, send this to them. It might be the most important thing they watch this week.